I'm just going to start by saying I feel terrible for anybody that's just listening to the audio because we look so fresh.
I don't look fresh. You look fresh. You got a haircut and everything.
Look at you in your brand new haircut. You look gorge.
I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'm frustrated today.
I can't wait for the reels to come out with your sassy new look.
Oh, brother.
Your hair is going to have so much body imbalance. I got to grow my hair out.
Body imbalance. What am I, a Suave commercial?
You are suave. Speaking of being in a commercial, we were at a photo shoot and a video shoot this morning for our Proactive Health website client, right?
Right.
Wasn't that fun? I am not a professional
No,
model.
I think that if anything, we were at least entertaining while we were there.
Oh yes, I'm paid to make people laugh. I'm not, but I did make the joke that I shaved my body for this. That was ridiculous. I did not. So anyway, guess what today's topic is?
Okay, you know what? You have to stop looking at me so much. Like, you say it every time. You're constantly looking at me, and then our reels are just like, you like this.
Oh, so this is about the reels now. It's not about keeping it real.
I'm just saying, instead of you getting frustrated with yourself later, just look at the camera.
Okay, I will no longer look at you. I will look straight. That's it. We're going to keep it totally pro from here on end. Guess what the show is about today?
I have no idea.
And that's the way people prefer it to be. Apparently,
yes.
We've got some feedback. And I want to say thanks to everybody that's listening out there. Like, follow, subscribe, share with everyone. 5-star ratings. You love it. I'm going to keep looking at you. I can't not look at you. You're beautiful. Opposites attract. Opposites attract. What do you think about them apples, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, see? Totally on the fly. She had no idea where I was going with this. But I wanted to talk about the things about us that are so different and yet why that works. So where I want to start with you today is, in what ways are you and I opposites?
Well, I think there's a whole lot of ways we're opposites. I have female bits and you have male bits. I got the obvious out of the way.
Excellent. I like my bits and bobs. That's for all the British listeners out there. That means your wiener.
Oh my god.
Anyway, wow. Way to make things awkward. Yeah, so
Things that are different about us.
how are we opposite?
Well,
I love math.
I do not. I find math a useless tool.
I love numbers. I love analytics. I kind of love nerdy things. I love games. I like strategy.
I like games that don't involve strategy.
Yes, you do. You love Pictionary.
I do love Pictionary. That's a good one.
You're such an artist. It's so funny because when we have board game night, it's me. I want to play like a board game, and all the girls just want to play Pictionary and draw things. And they're super competitive. Like they like to have the art with the competitive.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Why not? And I would say that the old me used to be way like hyper competitive, and now I'm just like, I would rather just be happy if everybody was happy and having fun.
So opposites attract would speak to when we were 15 and we got together.
Mm-hmm.
So opposites attract, does it stay that way? Like 30 years later, does opposites still attract?
I would say that we still attract, yeah.
Or have we like melded together so that it's not so opposite?
Yeah. You know what? I probably like a lot more things that you like, and you could probably care less about the things that I like still.
Really? So I'm not pliable at all, whereas you're just this like super, actually you are, I can't even joke about it.
Yes, no, I've morphed into this man that I'm like, okay, well, I just don't got time for football and basketball and
But that has nothing to do with me, right?
No, I would say like teenage version of me, totally into sports, totally into video games, music, and what were you into?
You.
I was into you too.
I was into you more.
Oh, well, I had other interests. You love the symphony and the arts, and I would go to the symphony to have a nap. But That being said, it's funny to go to the symphony now, even older, and I might still nap, but it's because it's such a peaceful, wonderful experience.
I think now you're aware of the vibration, like the frequency of that the symphony creates and how good it is for your body. It's like laying in a sound bath. You usually fall asleep for that too, but you know that your subconscious is still getting it.
Yes, but I would say that you have influenced me into being more of an artist. It's because of you. You have unlocked this Pandora's box that I didn't even know that was in me.
So I would say that everybody has that in them, right? The left brain, right brain thing. But I think that when you come into a relationship and you're heavily on one side and not so much on the other, and the other person is, maybe that kind of eventually balances you out to start using more of the other side of the brain that you normally wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would say that I probably started to draw more because of you. And now with the whole like carpentry and things that I've been doing around the house, it's because of us co-creating, and it's like, oh, cool. I can still use my math and my skills and put it together with art, and it's kind of a beautiful amalgamation where I didn't see that before when I was younger.
And I think that when you're 15 years old and you're coming together, it can't be too opposite because I think that then it wouldn't have attracted. You know, like I think if we would have been too totally different, we would have just kind of let it fall away. There must have been some things there that were fusing us together.
Hmm.
Like, how are we, in your opinion, how are we different? What were our opposites?
Like I said, like
Then.
my interests were totally different than your interests.
So it was just an interest thing? Were your beliefs opposite than mine?
Were my beliefs opposite?
I mean, I came in at 15 years old, kind of Catholic. There's my t-shirt, I'm kind of Catholic.
Kind of Catholic, and I mean, I could get on board with that. I would go to church with you, and it was fine. It wasn't, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't go to church, or I wouldn't have gone. So
God, you're so adaptable.
I'm pretty adaptable.
It's so bad because I'm not. And there is the opposite.
There it is. See, you need one
You have to dig and dig and dig.
moldable piece of clay and one hardened pot. And
I'm a hardened pot.
oh man. Okay. Okay, we got that out of the way. But that's good, right? Like we didn't script this.
I'm a hardened pot.
You are a beautiful clay creation.
No, you could have said like this beautiful statue or, you know, like a slab of marble. But no, I'm a hardened pot.
Yes, but that's okay. I like you. I picture us like in Ghost, and I'm like helping you mold me.
I wonder if I was always a hardened pot or if I was influenced by the fact that my dad was really pliable and my mother was like the force, you know, and he really had to work around that.
Hmm.
And maybe I thought that's what I needed too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say that that is my personality type, though.
It is, but did I set out to find that for myself?
Oh, that's a good question. But going back into maybe my 20s, I would say that I was moldable, but reluctant to be molded.
And I was hyper aware of overmolding because that's what I grew up with. I didn't want you to be, for lack of a better word, spineless.
And you know, I like the fact that I get to see hindsight's always 2020.
Sure.
I like the fact that looking back now, the fact that I wasn't just so rigid and saying, no, I'm just going to watch sports. I don't care about anything that you like. That's it. I think that would have done us a huge disservice. Me being pliable, me being open to the fact that I should probably try and enjoy some of the things that you enjoy so that we can at least enjoy some things together.
I think that if you're that hard,
Yeah.
I think that if you're that hard that you cannot have a successful relationship because there has to be some degree of movement. If you think about like a very tall skyscraper, they factor in the fact that it's going to sway a little bit, right? It's not just
Yeah.
erect,
Yeah. Yes.
right? Right?
We need these keywords.
There's some sway. So I don't think that, okay, fine, I'm a hardened pot, but I think that I also have some give. Like I did
Sure.
sit and watch basketball with you, and I had to figure out who Michael Jordan was because I didn't know.
Oh, you know, it's a great question on the fly. What movie have I made you watch? Because I loved it that you were just like, oh my God, I can't believe he's making me watch this.
Well, the first movie you ever made me watch.
Oh, The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. But I just wanted you to be like scared and want me to hold you kind of
How
thing.
badly did that backfire on you?
Backfired pretty bad. It was pretty horrible. You know, it's a great movie that we should watch again. You need to give it another chance. Is
I
MacGruber?
hate MacGruber so much. It's insane.
Yeah, MacGruber is my favorite movie. It's so awesome.
I hate that.
So that's where we're opposite. You love MacGyver, and I love his son, MacGruber.
Ugh, it's not his son for crying out loud.
Everybody, please go watch that movie. It's amazing. In what ways are we the same? I think that we have similar values. I think we have a lot of similar values.
We definitely have similar values.
We have traditional values.
traditional values.
Yes, like male and female roles.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that we're very like
yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're that. I didn't realize I wouldn't call myself a conservative, but as I get older, I'm becoming more conservative. And it's like, man, I just really like, the typical gender roles. I like that. Sue me.
Please don't.
Please don't sue me. I don't have anything.
But I think that we were also coming from the same kind of trauma, like kind of growing up in this emotional warfare home. We both brought that to the table at the same time. It was like, oh my God, like we need to save each other.
Different, but similar. Yeah.
We're both firstborns, so that helps.
We're both firstborns. We're both born the same year, which is very cool. We're only a couple months apart.
It's
I had
true.
to live on Earth for a couple months without you.
You did.
Isn't that sad?
No, that's fine.
And then I already told you I made the promise that I'm going to outlive you.
You know what
So
worked
that's
out
gonna be
well
sad, too.
is that I had this thing in my head before I met you that I wanted somebody with dark hair. I wanted somebody from Europe, hopefully Eastern European. I don't know why. And I wanted somebody who was older than me. I would not have dated you if you were younger.
Even if I was like a week younger.
Yep. It had to be older.
Oh, that's rigid.
So it worked out really well that your soul chose to come in 2 months before me.
So when we had our astrology readings done with Sandy, it was kind of crazy how perfect we were for each other. It's like you were born
Yeah.
for me.
Oh, definitely. It's funny because it goes beyond soulmates. Like she actually pointed out like exactly where we were. And I don't want to say twin flame because it has this weird connotation about it, but that's kind of what it ends up being, is that our souls chose to come in to expand our journey. Like our souls are on the same kind of mission to expand in the same kind of way, and we're just so much stronger together.
And I had this idea that I would create this dating website, astrological dating website. And then Emma's like, dumb.
And I really just think it's already out there. So
So we're going to, well, not that I need to check that out, but hey, if you need to go find like your perfect match, maybe it's in the stars.
I wonder if the matchmakers of yore would consider astrology, because you think about the olden days and how much more knowledge they had of the stars than we do. I know that a lot of it had to do with family status and money and blah, 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 but I wonder how much astrology played into that.
Oh, I don't know. I think probably back in the old days, they were just way more, you have to be like the right religion, the right class, from the right family. And then we're just going to, boom, let's do this deal, right?
Sure.
But I mean, they did that for a long, long time. And there's probably way less divorce back then than there is now.
Because it was socially unacceptable, or because the matches were better?
I think that they probably, I don't know. It's almost like the matchmakers, they just took two people who weren't from completely different worlds, and they could relate so much better.
So less opposite.
Less opposite. I don't agree with the whole matchmaker. Like one guy is like 20 years older than the wife.
Like
Kinda-
Razor Wolf and...
Right. Like I'm like, what the heck is that about? Like child brides and stuff like that? No, I ain't down with that. That's not cool. I don't like it.
What else you got for me?
Did we answer? In what ways are we the same?
I think so.
Yeah, traditional.
Eastern European.
We're
We
tra-
didn't speak English till we were 5, both of us.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I think that's a cool thing.
I guess so.
Oh, you know how you're very different than me?
Okay.
You are very different than me because you are a gypsy and you're an adventurer. And I was, if I had it my way, we would have bought a house like early 20s and we would have just lived there forever. I would have just done the same job and that would have been it. I would
Would
have
you
been that
have
guy.
though, like, I mean, I know you like to like lay that at my feet, but maybe if it wouldn't have been me, because we're like twin flames, it would have been you, right? I
No.
mean, it's very possible it could have been. You would have, I mean, you were getting tired of your job, of being in the same thing and doing the same thing every day and not being valued or productive, or that didn't have anything to do with me.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. I think that, yeah, there would have come a point where I would have realized that I don't want my life to be on cruise control, that I need change, that I need a challenge, that I need new challenges. And I mean, that like rejuvenated life for me. I think that most people should be doing that kind of stuff.
So it wasn't all me then. You know, like,
Well, you helped me be brave enough to do those things. Would I have been brave enough to do that if I did not have an adventurous wife? If I would have had a very, play it safe wife that said, no, you need to just stay in your job and, just play hockey or something on
if
the
it's
side.
in your stars, though, to expand your soul and have certain experiences, the universe would have conspired with you to provide that. It happened to come through me, but it might, if it wouldn't have been me, it would have come to you in another way.
Okay. I don't know, but we'll see. What else is going on here? Oh, here's a good one. How do you think our opposite tendencies help our relationship? How do you think our opposite tendencies
So, how do you complete me?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You complete me is how the roundabout way of asking the question of how do we complete each other?
Well, I am a big time in the clouds dreamer. I spend a lot of my time in my own imagination creating all these things, and I mean from sex to work to lifestyle things, like I'm just always up in the clouds, and you tend to ground me back down and kind of dip my toes back into reality so that the things that I'm dreaming are possible through your process.
Yeah, and I would say that for me, I'm so practical and so grounded that I needed somebody who's in the stars to help me shoot for some of them.
Oh, that was the nicest way to put that. Oh my God.
There you go.
Somebody's in the stars, so you have something to shoot for. That's really nice.
Huh. And not scripted. But it's true. It's you kind of need that person to dream high. And I would say I was very guilty of being a dream killer when we first met. Like, who the heck are we to think that we can do that? Or who the heck are we to do those things? And now that we've done a few miraculous things, it's like, why not us? Like,
Right.
why not do those things? Why not now? Like, why should we watch other people do incredible things and we just have a whatever life? And obviously, it's not always this up roller coaster. It comes back down.
It's a
and
cycle, as
it's a
Carrie Parsons would say, right? It's the creative process.
um,
You do need to be up there for one part of it, but then there are steps that follow. You know how else you complete me is that you have taught me not to be so reactive. Like I'm so emotionally reactive to everything, and before I knew how to control that, it was devastating and explosive to the people around me. And you're always so, you don't react. Well, how do I say that? That you don't, you take in first.
I
Like
process it.
you process it. It happens, and you run it through this like analytical filter, and it's so much more even keel and not offensive to other people.
But you're so passionate and I'm grounded. So there's our opposites again. But I give you space. I give you space to combust as well.
I think that it's weird because I always thought you were an extrovert, but now a part of me thinks that you're an introvert. You like this, but you like the social, like an introvert, but with social, but not too much. You know,
I
like.
think I'm an ambivert, but I'm probably leaning, as I'm getting older, I'm probably leaning more introvert.
And I'm a hardcore introvert, and you're always kind of pulling me out just a little bit so that I can get out there and be with other people. So that's a big opposite too.
I really love, I love going out and I love making people laugh and I love entertaining people and being hopefully being remembered at a party in a good way. But most of the time, it's not in a good way. I've horribly scarred a lot of people with some jokes that maybe didn't land, but hey, whatever. But after that, I am totally drained. I have to come home and just completely recharge.
I think that an extrovert gets recharged being around other people and in a social environment where the introvert needs to come home and recharge by themselves.
Yeah, see, and I like it. Like I like going out, but I do need to recharge. So that's why I say I'm an ambivert. I enjoy giving my energy, but I do need to be alone to recharge myself. I definitely don't get fired up or recharged by being around people.
That works out so well for me because I need to be pushed out of my comfort zone, but not all the time. And I appreciate that you kind of have this, you're tuned into me where you realize when I'm becoming too depleted when I'm out and about and you say, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I would say that your gas tank is a lot bigger too now.
It's getting there.
Yeah. But, like you would get depleted a lot quicker and for a lot longer back in the day. And now I think that you can hold up pretty well in a crowd and even doing something like this. I would say years ago, this would deplete you even.
It's true. And while we're always learning, and we're not done by any means, I think that you and I, and the way we present now, is so, I don't want to sound conceited, but it's inspirational to people because we have this like really great interaction. And I think that that's because of all the opposites and all the work that we've done. And it is because of also the complimenting that as well. I remember one time my best friend, she said, I watch you and Alex and you guys are so good at service. Like that was a major thing for her is like, if you need something, he goes and gets it for you. And if he needs something, then you make it for him. Like we're good at serving each other.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely not just kicking my feet up on the couch and making you do everything.
Oh, there's another opposite is that I need to be productive all the time. I am terrible at downtime, terrible. Whereas you love your downtime.
Oh man, I love it. You need to be doing like 4 things at once.
But it's so good that you love it so much because there are times where you're just like, stop. You just need to stop. And you tuck me in and you just make it so that I can't get out, right? Like it's like you force me to take that time. And then there are times where you're being lazy where I'm just like, all right, nope, let's go.
Yeah, I can only sit for so long too. I guess yesterday was a good example of how badly you want to be productive, but you knew that you were having some issue and your body was like, you didn't eat. And your body was just like, oh my God, I'm not happy. So I forced you to sit down on the couch. And then I just made your food and got you your wine. And then you were happily taken care of. But that recharged your batteries. And then you could go out and you could like be productive again.
Yeah, it's funny because there's like, I have this book and it's like an indigenous book and it's the turtle shell and all the different moons, how the moon is related to the different parts of the turtle shell.
Okay.
And there was one story about the bear and the lesson of the bear is hibernation, how the bear didn't take the time to rest. He just gave, and everybody kept coming to him and saying, we need your strength to help us with this. And then he just collapsed. And he was collapsed for months and the other animals were so concerned and, oh, bear, we've hurt bear. He's not okay. We don't know if he's going to pull through. And then spring came and bear came back out and said, wow, I feel great. I can do this all over again. But more mindful because knowing hibernation was coming and not to overdo it in the active time, Anyways, I love that story. And I thought, oh man, I need to have like a little bear totem so that it reminds me not to overdo it.
Sure. And this leads me into everyday things that we do opposite from each other, and you already kind of like named one of them.
Did I?
Yeah, like you love being productive constantly.
Oh, I see.
And I would say, and it's so funny that you said that because we make fun of her because she's so productive that even when she brushes her teeth, she is doing squats. She is exercising while she's brushing her teeth.
I just started doing that in like, I don't even remember where in Manitoba I was doing that. And it just kind of stuck with me. So now it's just muscle memory. Oh God. That was my toothbrush.
Yes. Toothbrushes are great. Great, now I can't think. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, everyday things that we do that are completely opposite of each other. Grocery shopping. This woman is crazy when she grocery shops. I was horrified the first time that I think I went with her. She was just grabbing whatever she needed and throwing it in the cart. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, woman? I said, you just grab that thing and the thing beside it, it's like half the price. And she's like, oh, I didn't even look at the prices. I'm like, what? You don't look at the prices of anything? I actually like almost had a stroke when I saw that.
And do I now?
Yes, I think that you're way better.
I'm better now.
But yeah, when we were first married, it was just like our budget for food in a week was like maybe $40 a week. It was crazy. And then she's just like, "Oh, we need a bunch of different cheeses." Boop boop boop. And I'm like, "Oh my God, well there's half the budget right there just in cheese." I'm like, "No. Cheese is a rich man's luxury." Oh man, that was a crazy thing. That's how we were so, to me that was opposite because I'm so math and numbers and budget and you are very much like, oh, we gotta eat. Let's do this thing.
I am shopping with my feelings.
Yes, shopping with your feelings. What else do we do that's so different? I love fixing things. You love breaking things.
Oh, whatever.
She breaks things constantly, and then she gets mad and it was like, well, okay, I guess I better fix that door again.
Thank you for fixing the stuff that I break.
Oh man, but I will say this: you break way less stuff now.
No, thanks.
You're way less passionate and heated.
I am really good at keeping promises to myself. I tell myself I want to go to yoga this many times a week, and I go.
Oh God, and I will convince myself that I don't need to do anything. I'm terrible. I lie to myself constantly.
That's one of those things that's non-negotiable for me. I don't break promises to myself.
Oh my goodness. See, okay, so you are extremely disciplined and I am not disciplined. If I can figure out a way to procrastinate, I will. And then I'm tortured. And if I follow the lead of my beautiful wife, I end up, you know me, I end up thanking you at the end of the day because I love a productive day.
Sure.
And if it wasn't for you, I would be a lot less productive. And then I would hate myself. I would curse myself.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm maybe too diligent with some of the things, especially with myself.
I am far from perfect.
Like not allowing myself to have maple syrup on my waffles. You know?
Oh yeah, the maple syrup. Here we go.
You and the kids.
This woman, when she puts maple syrup on the pancakes, it's like drop, drop, drop. Oh, that's too much. Me and the kids are just entertained every time. Oh, Mom, you almost got some syrup on that pancake.
You know what? I just need a hint of syrup. I like just the flavor, a little bit of syrup. I don't enjoy sweetness whatsoever.
And then there's me and the kids. Yeah, just a big dump of it. Although, now that we're cutting out sugar, I can't stand that kind of stuff
anymore. Are we cutting out sugar? We've been not very great at that. I mean, we've reduced the sugar.
I did have,
you know
I had
what?
a Coke last
that
night.
Reminds me. Yes, you did. I looked up the peppermint mocha from Starbucks. It's my favorite drink. Like 58 grams of sugar in a grande. And I was like, I don't think I can have a peppermint mocha. I don't know how I'm going to get my brain to a space where I can actually enjoy this.
So, I think the old version of you would have enjoyed it regardless.
It's because that's like my treat. That's like a treat thing, and I have to allow myself still to do that, but it's hard when you know how much sugar. How many teaspoons was 58 grams of sugar?
I think it was like 14 or 15.
14 teaspoons. That's appalling. Can you imagine 14 times into your coffee? Like, oh my God.
That is crazy. I can't believe that they're actually legally allowed to sell us these things.
It's sad because I love holding it, and you get that waft of peppermint. You're like, oh, it's Christmas in a cup. Like it's.
But I guess if you think about it, those syrups are pure sugar.
Well, so I wouldn't get a grande first of all, ever. It would be a tall. And then I would get like half pump of this and extra shot of espresso. And anyways, I know how to like bring it down a little bit, but still, it's appalling.
I think that you enjoy the finer things in life a lot more than I ever did. And I think that you've pulled me up to the appreciation factor. Like for me, I was like, the younger practical version of me was just like, who the hell are we to, enjoy those kinds of things? And now that when we go out and have some nice wine or go for a nice dinner, it's like, oh my goodness, like this is the way to live.
You know
Like
what?
this
The
is the way to
finer
do
things
it.
don't make you feel like garbage. You go to McDonald's and then you feel like garbage later, right? But you go to a really great restaurant where they're sourcing like fresh ingredients and you don't leave feeling terrible.
I had a Happy Meal last night at 11. I did not feel like garbage. I felt great after.
Oh, good for you.
I was craving it so hard. And then we got like Mario Kart toys. It was fun.
Worth it.
Worth it. Okay, last question. Why are you the way that you are?
Are you serious? That's not the question.
It's kind of the question, yeah.
How am I supposed to answer that?
Why do you think you are the way that you are? What made you the opposite of me?
I don't know.
Do you think it was like your parents or your grandparents?
Well, obviously you're influenced by your environment, so I would have been influenced by my parents, by my siblings, by my teachers, by my friends.
Like who in your family is like as productive and like as like do you think you get that kind of from your mom or
I don't know. My mom can be productive, but also completely not.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
why are you the way that you are? Anyway, I think that that's a great question for everybody to ask themselves is why are you the way that you are? And it made me think of The Office when Michael
Yes, I knew where
asked
that was
Toby,
going.
why are you the way that you are? Why do you do like why do you make everything so terrible? Not you.
Yeah, but he's asking him that because Toby is his extreme opposite. There's nothing there that ties them together.
There's no fun.
It's
There's
weird that you're asking me that. Like,
you know, it's it's funny. No, I think that it's totally appropriate because when it's a thing that an opposite would ask another opposite. It's why are you the way that you are? Like why are you so different than me?
but we're not that way.
And then at the same time we don't hate each other. We get along so well. Like I feel like you always complete like if we're this roller coaster, you fill in like the dips and I fill in the dips for you. And my strengths are your weaknesses and your weaknesses are my strengths.
Yes.
And I don't think that we if we were the exact same, we would probably just amplify each other's things almost to the point where too much of a strength is not a good thing either,
I
right?
think that if we were both Virgos, then we would come in both as these analytical people who overanalyze everything to death, and there would be no production. Because we would be caught in this like perfection analytical thing, right? Like
God, we'd be even more perfect than we are. Perfectionism.
we would be in paralysis.
Yeah, nothing would get done.
Nothing, ever.
We'd be chilling like villains.
We would be the most like even-keeled, practical people. We would never have these moments of greatness. You need to have. You're right. You need to have some people up in the stars, and you need to have the grounding, and
Yeah.
you have to have all those things.
I'm so glad that I married a dreamer. As much as when we were younger, it used to drive me nuts because the practical in me was always worried, like, how am I going to make this girl's dreams come true? Am I good enough for her? Am I capable of making enough money or being creative enough or all these I was very hard on myself practically wise instead of realizing that I could grow into the person that you need me to be.
I'm listening to Dolly Parton sing "Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer" in my head.
But I'm glad I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you kind of pulled me up and I kind of brought you
You brought me back down.
a little bit, but I think that it's very fun to I think it's really fun to get really creative and daydream now. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you need that compass to help you point in a certain direction so you can get there. If you're just always living day to day practical, you kind of just are at the world's whim.
Sure.
And I don't know. I guess you can get by, but will you ever achieve things if you're not shooting for them?
Right.
Anyway, thanks for another one. You did it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and I guess that's gonna do it for us. Anything you want to say to everybody before we go?
No, I think that's. I mean, that's a good thing to think about this week is the opposites. Like, where are you opposite in your relationship, and find the genius in those opposites that make the both of you better as a couple.
Yeah, And I guess for that, we'll see you again this week. We're gonna do another nooner, and we're gonna drop another one on Wednesday, another episode, but we don't know what it is yet because we don't script these
Can't tell
things.
me.
But we're gonna have a fun time, and thanks for everybody listening at home, and we'll see you next time, you bunch of geniuses.